front camera.
The back.
Let's get better. Oh yeah, the back camera. Yeah.
You should make sure it's the same.
Mr. Expert, fucking sitting in his chair.
That's charge.
It's what's your consulting fee?
Yeah, I mean, you're an LLC if you really have questions.
That's right.
But I haven't heard of them.
Maybe behind Pete at me.
Angostura Lead.
Hanging sort of bitters. Yeah, everything's like the hair off. It's like it's like Micaduga.
Yeah.
This is it.
Aladino. I've heard of this brand. I just have these ones from Beauty, but I think this one I definitely have heard of. For the little son. My father, yeah.
I'll put something underneath this so it doesn't fall over. It'll be good. That's good. Big shot. Mr. Big Shot. I'm gonna get all. I guess you can just set them up together.
Yeah, maybe are you?
I don't think we're gonna get both. It's not. I can't get the shot, and I'll be in this at least. You know what I mean?
They'll have your voice if they want to cut the there.
Yeah, but I gotta start putting my safe stuff in some of these. I'm not in Mike's. I'm not really not in at all. He took a picture of me doing it while he was getting his fucking ass cut.
It's probably better that you weren't in there. With
Yeah.
those fucking sluggy looking bros.
Easy. We're fucking live. What do you think she's gonna say about you, Pete?
Oh, well, just edit. Like what action?
I'm not editing anything. This is going. You made it 30 seconds.
I'm just thinking about how Mrs. Jimmy might react to seeing.
We don't call women slutty. Kavish?
My favorite part is Pete is actually the HR guy at this company now.
Yeah.
I am not. I'm in charge of clinical operations.
All right. Your lighting is good. My camera is good. I'm gonna get cheap.
Oh yeah, this is bad. This is bad.
Lovely.
I have to pee it sometime, but it's alright. Just pee out the window.
We're still recording.
That's alright. It adds some flavor. I'm just gonna, you know.
Ash trees there. I need something to ash in.
Here.
Wait, didn't I walk over
Sure.
to water?
You want my bottle?
Yeah, I'll take that bottle.
Glass too.
Oh, he's not gonna catch
Yeah,
fire.
I'll do that. And I still need that water. Then I have a seltzer. I definitely
You need your camel fat. Everyone needs some camel fat.
Corey always gives me cool gifts.
Yeah, real cool.
Fucking lighter, like a neat lighter.
Camel.
Like a cool belt buckle, but then he comes with a camel fat to it.
What a dick. Son of a bitch.
What?
I broke the table, man.
Old Captain Hamhocks over here is putting his big freaking arms everywhere.
If you run out of shit to talk about, I'll tell you the story of this beautiful tape recorder. If they need anything.
Tape recorder.
Are you recording us? Are we being interrogated, officer?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Detective, are we being interrogated?
How does one even acquire cassette tapes?
So I think we need mirrors and shit up in here, man. We're gonna make this a real studio, and I gotta duct tape her door so we can smoke in here and not smoke out the kid. Where we at? Drink. Then I'm live.
Toast it up.
Left the booze in the car. I didn't think that was appropriate.
Nah, I'm not in the mood anyway. Not right now.
And I understand all those words, but not in order they don't make any sense.
You guys talk and still behave, but I'm not gonna be able to do this without my water, so I'm gonna walk out to the fire escape. Leave everything going.
Jimmy doesn't have a seltzer in 18 seconds.
Right,
He
no.
It
got
took
the
him a
belt.
long time to
I
fucking
know.
settle this up.
What-
Don't
so-
break anything.
So you know what I
wait.
find appropriate that Jimmy gets camel
This has
fat?
gotta
Because
be
I've
the
seen
fucking-
him, he's part camel.
This has gotta be in the phone. For the,
Oh.
let's reconnect
Oh,
those things. Make sure they're blue. They should just do it.
Oh. No.
They gotta turn this fucking thing on.
Blue. I'm blue.
You're blue?
I am.
You're blue.
Feeling fat.
What's that song, Pete?
I hate that Guido song. I'm blue. But listen, some guy came with that song.
The
and-
cover's great.
What?
The cover's good.
I've
Where's
never
fucking my
seen it.
keys?
No, they,
I'm gonna lose my head today.
the DJ of a female singer, they,
She's pretty hot.
I honestly don't even know what she looks like. The song just has, they added some lyrics to it. But it's, and it's, you know, electronic.
Yeah.
It's EDM shit, but it's,
that was but like my point is, it was a big enough song.
Look at it. Look at it. Keys in the water over here hidden. Looking for my keys like an ass. Where's my fucking head? Alright, we're back. I have a nice wooden table. We're gonna get this knife. Can't lean on a cord.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Be careful.
I'm up. As soon as I put any weight on it, I'm gonna flip it over and shoot it all over.
I would take odds right now if that fucking table goes over. Is Corey wearing Meats Cappuccino or is Pete wearing Corey's Kim V?
Odds are I'm wearing everything. Cause if it's going, it's going towards me. Especially if I get a little rambunctious in my storytelling. I did slap the table.
Storytelling. You're good. Alive. How am I looking? Am I good? Everything straight now?
Handsome.
In all reality?
You're a pretty man with that.
Had the same outfit on
Mohawk.
5,000 fucking times in summer. This is the same outfit over and over
Oh,
again.
yeah. It's your,
I don't wear suits.
it's your professional attire.
I have
I have-
700 suits.
I
but
have
to
one
wear the
good
same
suit and like 3 cheap ass blazers, but this one I make it look like I have a tailored piece.
I thought reasonably that he would want to use cuts of me in different ones. And so my skin color's changed obviously from
Right.
summer, but I think we'll be alright.
It's, I have a couple jackets.
I
One
don't. I
suit.
seldom
Like,
wear
I
them.
never need them. You just think I don't need them professionally,
No,
so I don't wear them. Like it's
I know. I wear golf like polo shirts and basically chinos to work
every once
day.
in a while I end up at a wedding. I'm like, damn it, I have to put on a suit.
I don't mind. Because it's like it's dress up at that point.
This is gonna make a great podcast one day. In reality, this whole thing that's going on with the cases and the show, and Andrea spun up 8 o'clock meetings starting going forward on Sunday nights. Not mandatory, but like we're gonna have a meeting at 8 o'clock. Anybody's can join,
Pop on
and especially if you're interested in what's going on in summer and everything else. So that's coming this weekend.
No, there's stuff going on up in Fort Lee is interesting.
There's a lot, man. It's a lot.
It's interesting because of the connection. Like the
What do you think? Like, okay, they just said Corey's first. I'm gonna ask who did it. How much have you read it up?
I've read about it. And I've actually I watched a handful of documentaries on him over the years.
The ice pick.
The Iceman, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. This guy just happened to be. It lost its zest because I think the cops keep getting to the point and they're going, I don't give a fuck. It's just another fucked up case for sure, but it's not the ice pick guys. What they're saying.
No.
But he wasn't. They didn't call the Iceman because the ice pick. They called the Iceman because he used to hide bodies, and he would freeze them, and then dump them somewhere months, years later, and they couldn't identify when they were killed.
Didn't he get real sloppy? So this is the weeks he got arrested. He pled guilty to 2 murders 6 months prior to her old man getting clipped. She goes to the prosecutor and they open up a case and then they say we didn't find anything and they never give her discovery. But the problem is the story that she's been told went from her uncle telling her that he drowned her whole life. Well, she got the first round of discovery and all she got was the autopsy report that said overdose. This year she gets the pictures in the mail and it's fucking him beat up in the backseat with a bag over his fucking head. So, but she's in her master's degree program right now, and I don't know, dude. When I hit her with that $1,000 bill, I was like, listen, I gotta pay people to do. Like Rob already did a little bit of work on it. He went up and got the reports and shit. I'm like, until we have this back by somebody, or if somebody's that interested in it, we'll talk. But I'm not putting any more money into something that's by some crazy fucking story. I'm not.
But I get her point too. Like she just wants to know what happened with that. That she wants the real story, bad, good, or indifferent.
So Rob was able to get to the detective that worked the cold case for the state police side.
Okay.
That was the first one that closed it, where she was able to get the autopsy report, and then was reopened by Hudson County recently. They closed it, so I told her we'll get the discovery on whatever the fuck they found.
Right.
And Rob said, no, these guys are good. He'll tell us what the Oprah request. He'll know what evidence is there, and we'll file for it. Then he calls back and says he knows that, like, has coffee like we have cigars with the fucking detective that worked the CI that took down the Iceman. These guys all work together. They're all just older, like probably one generation older than me. You know what I mean? Like especially the younger guys that work those cases. So they're not that far off. So to have those guys come in and talk on a podcast, you know what I mean? Like I don't have the time to set it up. So I called my buddy Travis, who's he used to own the liquor store in Shrewsbury, and now he's like a young entrepreneur. But he has a podcast about making drinks that he eats. Like I don't have the audience. but I know enough about podcasts now that he's going to help
Oh.
if we choose to
Oh,
do that.
the guy that used to have the barrel?
Yeah,
He
Trav.
was a nice kid.
Awesome
Okay.
kid, real good kid. And follow him on social. He's a cool kid, and he finally found love. Great dude. He found like a young girl, and I see him like a young father just fucking living the dream. Remember that when you're just he
Yep.
wants to go to Disneyland and shit, but he's still dumb.
Yeah.
I go back to that shit tomorrow. Well, I love that Disney shit with the kids.
So let me cover what's covered. Pete's intro video, that's up on YouTube already.
My old one.
It was good though.
Yeah.
Mustache is a lot smaller in that one. But you were very honest. Like, this is all evolved. You told the story of evolution, and like,
Yeah.
if anybody gives a fuck, they're gonna get to that video because they're getting the whole channel. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anything new about things that have happened about you want to talk, bring up,
Yeah.
Pete, and take the floor for a couple minutes. I'm gonna hit the thing so it's on your face. Not that Corey goes out, but
Okay.
and here's the other thing.
Where's gigantic head? He couldn't go out. Of
I
frame
think
too
just
bad.
letting it run and us just doing it, but I
Yeah.
think maybe a
Just
steady.
let it be. If they can pan and scan through it if they need
I agree. I think we should just let a steady run of one of us talking about one thing. All right. So like, take a steady run.
Mhm.
Then you take a steady run. Then we'll just have our cigars. I just want to get that captured right up front. You know what I mean? Like, because what did he say he wants? Like 10 seconds. So it's not gonna. He may pull 10 seconds out of whatever happens in a minute, but let's just give him that.
to. Yeah, give them a couple
Because
minutes.
the other guys did the. We'll get their whole story, and that'll take some time for me to explain what the fuck happened yesterday.
All right. You just basically talking like I'm saying. I'm Pete. Whatever.
Man, tell a story about me. Tell a story that would you think would piss me off.
I don't know if I could.
I went no problem. Tell me your perception of anything. Just don't bring up kids. That's my only rule.
Yeah.
Everything else. So I think the theory here is that we're having a TV show and we're gonna have to introduce fucking things into the scenario. So like
Yeah.
Nikki being here,
Yeah.
don't think she's not coming back. There's gonna come a time where you're all gonna be in the same room with her. No doubt. No fucking doubt. But Kelvin already wrote it, dude. You'll be in the room and Kelvin, she's gonna be over there like, fuck you, Pete. Call me a crack whore. Yeah, like I'm serious.
I don't remember you
Yeah.
calling her a crack whore.
I don't think so either, but I don't know. I don't know what anything's been. I don't know what you guys talk about on other recordings.
Yeah, I don't think I called her a crack whore.
All right, I'm teasing. So, to get back on this,
She's a man.
Yeah.
it was
different.
Let's be straight. It was actually a lot of heroin. That was what it was. It's a public record. We're not going to protect anyone.
Yeah.
But we are a team, and she knows that about me. So she actually texted me randomly 2 days ago. I said, "You back on your feet? You landed on your feet?" "Yeah, I'm landed on my feet. I was just drinking before when I was texting you." And I'm like,
Oh, sure. Okay.
but again, I'm not a cop anymore. I don't give a fuck. But
Yeah.
she thought enough to help us out when we shot. That goes a long way with me. That wasn't free like you guys, but you guys aren't free either. You're my boys.
Well, we're cheap, but we ain't easy.
Cheap help.
Yeah.
Cheap. What do I pay? $20 an hour. That's it. Cheapest motherfucker in the world. Pete, tell a story about one of your patients walking up and seeing you work security. That's a good one.
All right. So,
That's a good one.
well, I got a better story, right?
Got it.
Because I was working security this summer, and what I always like about it is that nobody knows. Like in my professional life, I have a master's degree. I've been a physical therapist. It's over 20-some years, and now I'm I got a lot of responsibility. I have at the time I had at least 10 therapists, and now I got almost 20 therapists that work for me for the organization I work for. So I see this lady who I knew from Staten Island when I was my first job at Staten Island Hospital, and she's coming in for a wedding at that beach, the beach bar. I don't want. Should we promote it or not?
Yeah.
All right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Sandbox, she's coming up.
We're
I'm like,
there.
so to me it's like, so people who don't know me, right? It's always interesting to me to see because people act different. One thing I learned is people act different in different contexts. To give you like an aside, so there's certain patients that will be, frankly, like assholes to my front desk staff because they're like, but they'll be sweet as pie, like sugar would melt in their mouth to the clinical staff, and I hate that because it's like, that's indicative of a poor character to me. And then I got to deal with like them giving my staff grief or whatever. So I always like, all right, here I am in a different context because in my professional world, I'm the boss. Like there's some deference to that. So now I'm like, well, how do people react when they probably think I'm a retired cop because I look the part a little bit, and I probably talk salty a little bit. So this girl comes up, and now I haven't seen her in years. She's with her husband.
People are so Pete is so
salty talk, my saltiness. Well, anyway, so she's looking at me like
It's like Colonel Sanders.
I've never told me that. What am I? Somebody.
I'm sorry, guys.
Oh wait, I'll tell you a funny story about my friends from PT school. We were going off a whole fucking thing on that. So anyway, so she's looking at me like, I know you, but I don't know you. And I was like, should I let her off the hook? Because she's probably thinking like, this fuck probably lost his license. Why else would he be working?
He's definitely thinking that.
And then I'm
I have an
posted
undercover
back
story
by the
following
park.
up.
And I was like, she's like, this fuck lost his license. So I'm like,
practicing medicine.
he must be in a lot of trouble. Maybe he did something with COVID or something. Maybe, you know.
And she's the one that abused the staff. That's how you judge her, by her character prior to this.
Well, she was an alright therapist. I don't remember much else about her. But then, you know, like, it is funny, like, running to neighbors and stuff like that. Or like, what are you doing? And I just explained. It was my friend Jimmy's gig, and it's like just hanging out with my boys and
Sitting on the couch fucking watching TV is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, the scenes are amazing. The music's amazing.
Mhm.
Nobody ever fights, and we drink and have fucking cigars at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
Something to do. But
There's so many people not want your guys' job. You know how
Well-
many phone calls I got about Saturday night?
Well, listen, that's okay. We'll talk it out. I mean, but the bottom line is like, you know, it is funny to see like then like, you know, like every so often somebody come in and they got like a brace or something, and I'll throw some stuff and I'm like, wait, the security guard, hey, so what happened? Did you tear your ACL? What kind of reconstruction did you have or something? And I'm like, wait, no, I'm a physical therapist. Here's my card.
The first year we were sitting around, you were like, how do I pick up business here? And I'm like, you're like, what was the thing? You walk with a hinge or something? What the fuck are you telling the people they were walking with? Like,
Maybe they, I don't remember, but yeah, they have like a limp and perhaps a hike. They hike their hip up and then, you know.
you were saying something like,
It's technical.
excuse me, sir, I noticed you walk with a, whatever.
I don't sound like the
Trying to
night.
throw up
Excuse me,
business.
sir, I noticed that you're hiking up. You won't get up or you're stuck. You want to handle that?
Fucking nut.
Yeah, but I mean, so
Pete's got his
that
chiropractic table in the back ready to go.
yeah, fuck you too.
Can you do that? My back is fucking killing me.
I
I was
can.
gonna plug the chair in. You know how to do that shit.
I know how to do a lot of shit, but
Did they teach you how to do the crack part in your school? Or no?
yes, we
All right.
learn. Physical therapists learn
Okay.
manual.
Almost fucking
Yeah, I
lost
know.
my- Oh,
Physical therapists learn, you know, manipulation and mobilization, whatever. There's different semantic battles about what you call it. It's not our primary, you know, it's part of like what you do, but in Cairo school they really focus on that. So they're clearly like experts in it. That's their prime thing. But
Like Dr. Mike.
well, Dr. Mike is he's
Oh, let me tell you about that. All right, I'm
Yeah,
cutting you now.
that's
all right,
fine.
we're gonna go back. That's an officially Pete's put down, but you got all the time in the world to pick up stories. Don't. We're gonna give Corey that same put down time, and then we don't have to give anybody else time. Then we can just
Right,
whoever has the
stuff.
floor.
No, it's yeah, Dr. Mike had the what was it, the testosterone seeds?
What do you grow with testosterone?
No,
Let me
the-
tell you my cop story first.
Yeah.
All right, so the cop story was same story, undercover at a liquor store working the cash register, and this motherfucker felt so bad for me, thinking I had gotten fired. What happened to you being a cop, man? I didn't recognize him as a high
Right.
school kid that I didn't know,
Oh.
just was following. I'm like,
Oh God.
completely blows me. Completely, and by blow I mean fucking burn.
Yeah, let's specify.
Bert, I'm in fucking danger at this point. I gotta find an exit plan. And I'm looking at him. He said it loud enough, and I was like, and he says it again. He's like, dude, I got a fucking whatever business. Let me help you out. I can't fucking. I'm like, I literally
Dang.
fucking walked out behind the cash register, ran for my life.
Oh God. Oh God. Well, that's what you get for working in the neighborhood you grew up in, I guess.
That's a real story.
Yeah.
And
That's horrible.
I kind of did do the same. Yeah. All right, Dr. Mike. You want? All right.
No,
Yeah,
I was
do you have
just-
something you want to talk about first, or would
No,
maybe?
I'll get to me at some point.
All right.
But no, I was watching you watching Dr.
You
Mike
watched the
get
video.
surgery yesterday.
What's your take on the video? Did you watch the whole video?
Yeah.
I know it's long. Pete's too fucking busy for it.
That's right.
Kelvin Parker, I venture to say he did what Pete did. I don't think.
Skipped her.
He goes, what was that? You can't, like, he's like, you're not going to be the director when we do this. Because he called us, we had a meeting.
Right.
He specifically asked for what we're doing right now. And Mike said, we have that at my office. He sent me a picture of a beautifully lit backdrop that he uses
Sure.
for meetings. Let's do it here. I come in with my bag, my camera, just the same thing, thinking I'll use my camera and his setup. We don't have to do this bullshit that took us, we should have videotaped, by the way. So, man, I walk in and there's a beautiful 20-something-year-old girl that reminded me of my 15-year-old daughter. So not,
Oh.
there's a cusp of 20-something. She's still 15. You know what I mean? They're,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, a 25-year-old mom and a 25-year-old.
Well, that goes back to our discussion about.
For carding people, I can't tell the difference between 16 and 26. Everybody gets carding. I can't tell.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I'm not
This
making
girl-
that guess.
Yeah.
This girl, I'm blown. Until she starts talking, and I'm like, she's older. She's talking about shit with her. It was like her aunt. Anyways, you can watch the video if you're interested. You should. The aunt's the most interesting person. She works with Mike. Prior to us turning the camera on, the aunt is going to do what she's going to do on Mike on camera, but Mike wants her to do it like on a. Let me just give you run through it one time. It's been a while since I put one of these fucking pills in. I don't know anything that's gonna happen. None of it. I walk in. I fucking. We're supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be. Danielle's running a little late. He's finishing up with patients. We're gonna go run in the back room. No. As far as I'm concerned, this place is closed. There's fucking cryogenesis, fucking DNA, fucking stem cells, plasma, placenta, fucking. I don't know. I'm in awe of this place. But then I pick my head up, and Mike is standing next to the girl, the aunt, who's, I don't have their names or their answers. I just met them yesterday for the first time. Fucking smoking hot, like a gym body, but you could tell like a businesswoman. Like she's at work. She's in her scrubs and whatever, you know, but like still very pretty. She goes and pulls the kid's pants down, and the girl goes, I don't have any underwear on. And I go, what are we doing? It's just like, now the camera's, I would have had it on. I'm like, Mikey, what the fuck are we, oh, watch, we're cutting. I'm like, I didn't know what it meant. I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
Like, you might as well, like, doctor, I thought I could go get some fucking, like, I really vetted him to the point of he's been vouched for. That's it. I've never really looked into his business. That part of it. We work on a lot of shit together. Bro, I was in awe of it. They take a fucking needle, it's this long. They draw a line, they push the fucking needle in, it goes across the fucking line. Like, Corey, I'm talking, for you it wouldn't be that big, but this 25-year-old fucking 100-pound girl, he's asking her the questions, how old are you? How much you, 5'1", 99 pounds, stuck out. Like, how fucking the wind blows her over. Needle, then inject as they, it's like Novocaine.
Right.
I'm talking fucking seconds later to like, you feel that? Yeah, I feel, you feel that? Yeah, like, you don't feel nothing. I guess it's that strong
Just
of
the
a drug.
pressure. Yeah.
Scalpel. In her ass. I'm like, fucking scalpel.
Are they pulling stem cells or something?
Bro, then pull the scalpel out. And for her, there's a thing called swipes. So her, they do one, because she's only needs one pill. Mike was getting so many pills, they had to do 5. So they take the scalpel and do it 5 down. Then they take this big ass gauge metal thing,
Oh, cord out.
tube, yep, boom, into her, and the kid's going, is this gonna scar? And I'm like, yeah. Like, I don't think it really does, but Mike has done it so much, he has it, you know what I mean? So,
It's like a zipper for him at this point. They gotta bust with the scar tissue though.
now, at this point, I should have gotten the camera, I still didn't. We were still kind of, Danielle hadn't arrived, no, Danielle just arrived and walked in on this happening, and she's like, what's going on?
Yes.
She throws her hand up in the air,
Right.
and it looked like a little tiny diamond. It was a special ring. It wasn't like a $50,000 engagement ring, which is a girl like that usually you see.
Right.
But it was like a little chip of a diamond, fucking up into the garbage can with all the bloody rags.
Oh my God. What the hell?
What I got. So I'm like, I'll be the hero and put gloves on and dig that out while Mike's got this fucking ram up this kid's ass. I'm not watching anymore now. What they do is they stick another tube in, which you'll see on when they do it to Mike. And then they fucking put seeds, the pills in it, and whatever the computer decided you needed, it's that, spits out those, and it lasts for 6 months. He says you feel fucking great. He's a pretty energetic, he's one of those real super energetic, always healthy kind of guys.
Right.
So he kind of, he wouldn't, he's not like a fake face. I mean, like he does hair transplants, but it's kind of bald or balding. You know what I mean? Like when he does that, usually you walk in, you got like a fake. He's like a real guy. I mean, I can do it kind of guy. I don't have to have it. But then they tried doing Botox and that shit to me, and I'm like, dude, I gotta go watch Jack wrestle. That was fucking insane. They did it to Mike. They did the whole thing to Mike. You watch it.
It's a long-term testosterone delivery. So they drop
Yeah,
the
you
seeds
do
in
that
there.
shit, right? You do testosterone, and you do it yourself.
Injections.
Why not just fucking do that?
That
I'm
seems
not
like,
trying to dick you, Mike, but
No,
I'm
but
getting
it-
like that was a lot, man.
it-
Like
it-
that
it-
must be
it's-
really good. People come back for after one and come back.
it seems like a lot. Like to me, I stick one needle in my arm once a week.
Is it something's different about this? Because he says people are paying thousands for it. And
Yeah,
it's
I
true.
And
I
then-
said to her, that was a fucking surgery. Now we're all celebrating drinking milkshakes in his office.
the smoothies.
The smoothies.
Yeah.
We're drinking.
What kind of smoothies is he
Smoothie
making?
kid.
For some
No,
reason,
smoothie
somebody
cake,
dropped off a table of smoothies that big, and it was
Yeah.
4 of us there, and we were drinking them like to give it while Mike's giving blood now. Mike has to now do a phlebotomy, or what was that called? Phlebotomy.
Yeah.
He had to take his blood when he came out. It was so I see what he's talking about. And probably from all the vitamins. And he's like, he controls everything in his body. Very interesting dude. A lot smarter than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was like a shitty doctor that was a really good bullsman.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I thought. He's not that at all. He's like super fucking smart, like into technology.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do the shots once a week. I don't know if I do the seeds.
I don't know.
As in, if it was like a,
It sounds like
You
they
know
have
the
no
name
look.
of it though. You've heard of it.
yeah, I've heard of it.
Oh
Listen,
my
if they could
God.
drop them, but they lasted 2, 3, 4 years.
If they could fucking swallow it, I'll do it. I'm not putting that to me.
I mean, the weirdest thing though is injecting yourself. That the first time I had to do that, I was
How
like,
thick is the gauge needle?
so they give you a draw needle and an injection needle. So you go into you bust into the vial with a draw needle, pull that off, and then it's a thinner gauge. The only problem is testosterone is always oil based, so you got to push down oil through a very thin needle. So it doesn't go quickly.
Then you have to rub it in once it's in because there's gonna be a big knot there.
No, I really don't get them. I
I
kind of
used to
just
do
get
that
a
with
little.
Lauren's medicine for the kids.
Just-
Anything medicine.
Just one of these, and it kind of goes away. But
Is it better to rub it in or rub it out? That's the question.
You're the expert. You rubbed my thigh one day so hard. You got so close, man. I was like, Pete, you're getting fucking close,
Well,
man.
I figured based on your Irish heritage, I have more space to deal with.
But he still hurts.
You came for one visit. I was
No.
hoping to bust your insurance
I
out
was-
for at least 12.
I know. You gotta come to me, man.
he might have.
No,
we
we're,
have
we're on the up and up.
Actually,
the,
I'm in
the
all
first,
your
the first time I had to do it, I just sat there, and because you can do it with your thigh, your shoulder. I generally do it with your shoulders now. Thighs tend to knot more. But like I sat there with this needle like right on my leg, and I broke into like flop sweat.
Could someone do it for you?
Yeah, they could, but I was like, if I'm gonna
Yeah, you need
do
to
this, I
do
just
it.
gotta get used to doing it. But like that first, that first time I had to do it, that first move, like to actually like stick the needle in,
Yeah.
I literally sat there at my desk like this. But
Too bad they don't make like auto
Home office.
injectors for that.
yeah, they don't. And because you know, I don't think it's not as commonly used as a lot of things. So, but I mean, I just sat there and all of a sudden I was like this. The only other time that ever happened, I was crossing the subway tracks. I was doing testing for FDNY. I was crossing from one side to the other, and it was a lower part of the track that really wasn't. The station wasn't used anymore. So we get up to this wall. It looks like this. Station manager goes and like opens a little door. It's a key. It pops. It goes, okay, you guys can go test. You walk through, and it's now 15 years ago. Because when they close off a section of the subway, they just build a wall, and you're done. Nobody goes there anymore. And it's clean, no food, no rats. So literally, this place is like spotless, but like it's an old Pepsi ad. It's coming this fall to NBC, Friends. Like it's like it's just weird. Like you literally go through a time machine. So we go down, step over these tracks, and all they ever do is they'll occasionally divert a train down there. So they're a little bit shiny. They're used, but it's not common. So you're not supposed to with the guy I was with from the
What's
city.
shiny? I'm trying to picture the scene when you're painting.
No, the tracks. If trains go on them, the tracks are shiny. If trains aren't, they develop a little rust coat.
So that you can feel a little bit better.
If it was all rusty, I'd have been okay.
All right, so if you're on in your
But-
business, that's a big thing to look out for. I'm guessing you look for that all the time.
you want to make sure there's stuff coming. Well,
all right.
the guy from MTA did his call it. Nothing's coming. You can cross, but they're still live. They're still. And I stepped. Track, third rail. Well, I put my foot over the third rail, and now I'm straddling. I got the third rail between my legs. I'm standing there, and I'm just broken in this sweat. I was like, if I slip, I'm fucking dead. I'm cooked. I'm dead.
You're so big. I hope you can tell how big Corey is.
I was just looking down. I'm like, oh shit. And the guy goes,
You have a helmet on?
He's like, just step over. And I was like, what if I slip? He's like, fucking don't. I was like, oh, fucking don't. But like, instead of taking a normal step, I like picked my leg up, swung it all the way.
It's in your head.
I was like, huh. But then when I hit the next one, I was fine. Just that first time I got there, and I was like literally standing on that DC that just.
What's like the volt? It's DC too, so go right through you.
If you touch it, you're just dead. Like there's no like, oh, I touched the I touched the third rail, and ooh, I got lucky.
Yeah.
It's like I touched the third rail, and then there was a funeral, and I smelled like barbecue. That
Smell like
Well,
barbecue.
you probably would. I bet you smell good.
Listen, I'm well worked out. It'd be delicious.
I mean, certain cuts would be a little rougher than others, but
Cook me on the brisket.
yeah, I think so. Slow and low.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't drop that grill.
No.
Take mine up.
Well, maybe your back straps.
Next traps.
Your back straps are probably well developed and tasty. But that's what I tell patients too. Like I'm dealing with like calf and lower leg injuries. Like, oh, you got I'm like calf muscles are like the stew meat of the human body because they're used all the time. They're like rough. You got to stretch them a little longer, work them out a little longer.
I can't with a mustache. I know you've been working.
My mustache.
I love it. I'm just proud of it. I'm
Okay.
trying to design it. I'm really jealous, first of all.
I said Jimmy's gonna start growing his now. I'll have it for season 4.
My wife hates it. It's hilarious.
No, I shave my can't.
But
People in my life hate it.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it's like, she's joking around, like, but she did say, like, she was laughing, she goes, because we've been joking about this whole process we're going through since the summer.
Yeah, me too.
And she, yeah.
It's a constant source of amusement and pain for my family.
Well, no,
Everyone just ignores me.
my
Like,
wife
shut
just,
up.
my wife just thinks it's funny, like, she's like, all right, you and your moron friends. But then, when she sits here, she goes, I tell her, I go, the producer actually, the mustache is a thing. And then I told, so the new company that my practice is involved with, right? There's another guy who does marketing for the corporate end. And his name is Peter S. with a vowel at the end as well.
Right.
So the guy that I report to now is like the therapy guy. He's like, he's a very laid back kind of guy. I like him. And he tells me, he goes, so don't get confused. We call you Mustache Pete.
Nice.
And I said, I'm not insulted. I said, but like a mustache Pete is like an old timey, like a derogatory term for like an older, like the old school like mafioso guys. It's called mustache Pete's because they were like the really quiet, like live like anybody else, but they were like But I'm like, not that I'm, but I was like, that's pretty funny. And then I brought it up when I had a meeting with the marketing guy. So I go, oh, so I hear, because I was talking to the other Peter in the organization. I go, oh, you call me Mustache Pete. And like they love it, they're like we got to find a way to use that because we're gonna think of promotional materials for the practice. But I'm like, yeah, I hate those freaking things. You ever watch those videos? There's all these therapy and chiro places and medical. It's like those are your rotator cuff. Those are some exercises you can do with man. I said those videos suck. Only losers watch them. We need like some pop in social media. You need to be like fun.
I'm passionate about this shit.
I'm passionate about everything.
Still don't know what he does for a living.
I know. Listen, I don't care what they do. As long
So like
as
if I come in, I'm gonna get you, or I only got to see you because you're my friend.
Well, I treat a little bit. I treat about 50%.
So like
at
the
a
top
time.
shelf clients get a CP.
Well, I have like my file, but it's also like when I'm
He's
working.
following you.
When I'm working, like if there's a space in my schedule, new patients got to go on. But there are some doctors that say go see Pete or whatever. But I have a good staff. It's not like I'm.
I was in a fucking place. You can get a surgery and get worked on
Right.
all the same parking lot. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah, now we have 6 locations to serve
Oh,
you
shut
in
up.
Mom and Canals.
No one gives a fuck.
I know.
It's like Mike's thing. I'm like,
I know.
I was cool that we
you
cut
can
each other.
reach us. No,
That was
no.
Parker.
I'm that's separate.
I don't care.
I'm not.
Who wasn't listening in the meeting? I just wanted you to sit like Corey and Pete, not cut each other.
not go through actual surgery.
It could have been worse. They could have been like doing some weird ritual you know about. Yes. This is how we must cut each other to give blood to Azrael for the success of our office.
Picture a plastic surgery office, although I know he's not. That's not what he is. Picture like
What
all the
about-
beautiful women that work there.
Smart.
Yeah,
That's what it was like. And I'm like, man, this is a lot of fun. I gotta go see I love to hung out. I mean, the guy's got a gig there.
Well, it's smart.
I went to see him one day for my shoulders.
Oh, you did go in?
He did. It was great. Like
Is he taking insurance? Is it straight up?
uh,
Does he offer that kind of stuff?
yeah, I think so. I think he's a little bit of everything. He's
got,
got.
I don't know, like you can take your kids' fucking embryos there, man. He does some shit. And, like,
Yeah,
it's
he
in a-
does stem cell work. He does all the like, really like all the newer stuff. Was really
not
his-
embryos. I mean,
I know stem cells,
stuff.
placenta,
Yeah,
stuff. Like he's into he's got hands in a lot of areas. He's a knowledgeable guy.
Oh, he has hands in a lot of areas.
Well, that's it. So he's like, listen, I like Mike a lot.
Yeah.
But he's not coming to the beach club with us. He's going to be going to these, like you see last summer, when he left, the party he left to come out to hang out with us at the beach was like the Lamborghini party of New Jersey. And he was sending me pictures of him and her, like on the fucking, him and Sarah on the thing. Like the chick, like Danielle's not coming here to smoke cigars with us. She was like yesterday, like I just want to play, like you know what I mean? Like she works top shelf cases, fucking that kind of shit. Like they're going to be down Longman. I think we could torment them. I actually said it to him. I was like, it's gonna be like in high school, but we don't give a fuck if we're cool anymore. Like,
So are we like the loser kids who like just don't give a
here's what I said. I was like,
What are you
Pete's
talking
gonna talk to you about like death metal, and she was like, he's gonna fucking what?
Yeah, that's another thing. Like people don't. People don't expect it.
I know.
Like, what's your favorite band? Well, you know what? So you know what's funny is Christmas. You know, like I don't want to get my wife, so she's like, "All right, get me Billy Joel tickets." I'm like, "All right." She's like, "Listen, you really want-"
Show up, it's quicker.
Right, that's what I heard too. So now, then she got my son and I Metallica tickets for one of the shows that coming up. So I'm like, "All right, cool." All right, so I'm talking to one of my patients, and it kind of comes up, and he's like a working class kind of guy. And it turns out we both like metal. And then, but unsolicited, he goes, "You want to hear something funny though?" He goes, "You want to know one of the best shows I actually went to see?" He goes, "I went to Billy Joel with my wife." And I'm like, that's fucking ironic, because I'm like, I was teasing my wife because she's dragging me to Billy Joel, but you know, I'm like, but you know, like, because I'm not really like, I get it, he's very talented, but it's like, bottle red bottle, it just doesn't do anything for me.
But you know what it is?
I don't want to hear a song piano,
Tell us what
man.
does do something for you, Pete.
No, but
Tell
the
us
thing is,
that little
when you
tidbit.
see him, you literally know everything he does,
Yeah.
and he's good
It's
at
a
what
great
he does.
concert, and it's fucking 5 hours long. How the fuck he does them? And that was many years ago. I went to one, and I'm like, I wanted to leave. It was so fucking
Well,
long.
it's also
That's-
like, it's my wife's present, so
Oh,
it's
good.
like,
No.
you go,
How's
you
your
go,
wife? Good. Everything's
yeah,
good.
she's doing good.
No, we
Thank
we
you.
had a good time. And I saw him once before in the, God, it had to be like the mid-90s, but he did a tour. It was him and Elton John. So basically, guy came out, one guy played an hour,
Yeah.
the other guy played an hour, and then they did like an hour and a half together.
Do they use the same piano?
They each had, but they rolled two pianos on there, played each other's shit. They were playing together. It was actually, I mean, and listen, they are both excellent at what they do.
Right.
You can watch anybody who's good at what they do what they, do their thing. Like I get really, I enjoy watching people who are expert at something, especially if it's something that I have zero ability to do.
What is that, Corey? You know a little bit about just about everything.
I know a little bit about it, but watching somebody who's really good, like, I was actually watching, old, some old tennis stuff the other day, and it was Boris Becker and Agassi. And Becker was known, he had this incredibly hard, fast serve that blew everybody out of the water. And Agassi routinely beat him. He said he watched his video, and Becker had this tell. He would, right when he threw the ball in the air, he would always stick his tongue out. If he stuck his tongue straight, he was serving at your body. If he stuck his tongue to one side, he was serving to that side.
Holy shit.
And he said for years, he beat him on it. Beat him. And after Boris Becker retired, they were having dinner one night, and he's like, "How'd you do it?" He's like, "I blew everybody out of the water." And he told him about this tick this tell that he found.
Right.
And he's like, "You don't understand. I used to go home after tournaments and tell my wife, this guy reads my fucking mind."
Right.
He
He's
does,
like,
kind of.
He's like, "How does he do it?" Like, because this guy was serving like 150, 120 routinely, and just blow, like, he'd serve and the ball would be past somebody and then whiff at it. But obviously figured this one thing out that nobody else figured out. And just somebody who's that expert,
Yeah.
like, you gotta watch it.
It's a gift in a sense.
It's applicable. Like, you can kind of look at it and be like, you have to study. Like,
It's fucking crazy.
it's
I think they call it the super touch, right? Like just have that kind of.
I say to everybody that works with us, everybody has some sort of genius at our company. Everyone. And people are like, no matter what they do, I'm like, what's your genius? And it'll be like, I remember pictures, or like everybody has one of those quirky things. Every one of us has it. God, let's talk about the fucking case, the Shaughnessy's case. Shaughnessy's out on the Hagen's murder trial. There's a trial going this week, right now.
down in Carolina.
Now we're in fucking Perth Amboy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was.
So, yeah. Perth Amboy. It's the guy supposedly, I'll give you the guy side of it, buying coke down in this fucking housing complex down in Port Amboy and fucking
That case is still going on.
still going. That was my second case when I retired as a cop. Came in as my
years ago. I remember that.
So I went in and retired a year
Wait,
and a half.
that's
Yeah,
the
so-
one where it was just like he was the last known person to buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says he thinks the cops pull up behind him.
Mhm.
The guy says the guy acted like the cops pull up behind him. Whatever.
But
Long
it
story
probably could
short,
be the murderer.
it is probably the murder. If
Yeah.
our guy didn't do it, it's definitely the murderer. But it's one of those Perry Mason cases.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, so we've done everything fucking under the sun to figure out if there's a camera, if everybody saw it. But it's
Yeah.
also a gang area, so people don't want to fucking.
Yeah.
So Robbie's got to testify this week because in one of his interviews, the lady said, "I saw the shooters," with a plural,
Right.
which was he didn't have his fucking camera on or something, or he wasn't recording for some reason that day, so he has to testify to it.
Right.
Well, she testified already in court that she did say it, but then she was like, "I said it because I was high or I was on fucking Ambien or whatever." Like,
Oh, great.
yeah, but she just makes sure. Oh, we just throw reasonable doubt. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if this guy did it or not. To be honest,
This
place
is-
is shit show.
Yeah.
Really
Listen,
is.
Ambien, I completely understand the Ambien situation. I had some trouble sleeping a few years back, and I had like 15 Ambien a month.
Right.
Jesus.
Like, so it was like, I had enough for every few days, every other day if I needed it. So like, I was really doing like an hour and a half of sleep a night. So it was
Oh my God.
for like, but like for a couple months straight before I even messed with the Ambien. So finally I broke down and got it. It was a shortage. It came and went. Because if you miss that first window of sleep with Ambien,
Yeah.
which is about 25 minutes in, you go to bed. If you're puttering around doing shit, you suddenly lose your mind for about 45 minutes, and then you go to bed.
Isn't that what Roseanne, when she
Yeah,
she
she-
moved to Chris, it was Ambien?
Yeah,
Could be.
but like people are going to wake up and end up 50 miles away in their car,
Yeah.
or they wake up and like their entire refrigerator is empty because they ate the entire
The
contents.
guy wake up in his pajamas, get hit by a fucking train. His leg got cut off.
Yeah,
This
and it's
motherfucker, and I'm
the
like,
stuff is
why are you
tr-
trying to kill yourself? As the detective, he's like, bitch, I was sleeping.
that's-
I woke
and that's
up out there.
So I'm sitting there and I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
you're like whacked out of your tits on this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I had talked to a friend of mine, and they brought up the conversation the next day, and I had no recollection. Wow. I was like, they're like, oh, hey, you called me. It's like 11:30. I was like,
I've heard stories of weird shit.
I was like, I did what now?
Like marriage, like sexless marriages all of a sudden get spicy. Like,
But no, I come up, I get,
Spicy Ambien marriage.
I get home, and I was like,
Wait, I got a new
I got an
pharmaceutical
ad on my
product.
phone. Watch it, don't do it.
Hey, just combine Ambien and
Oh, there we go.
Viagra.
I thought he did it.
and Red Bull.
That's like something from Trailer Park Boys when he had like the 5-hour no energy or what with Snoop Dogg in those fucking episodes.
One of my
Like,
shots, I'm gonna take the Lincoln into the trailer park and do like the in the car thing, talking my thing.
And we had so I'm sitting, I get an ad on my phone, I'm at work, I'm like, oh, I want to buy that movie. I open my front door, and it's sitting there. I get home the next day, and there's a package, and the movie's sitting there. I get home the third day, I look at the mail, and there's a package, and the movie's sitting there. I was like, oh, this is the fucking Ambien. I was like, thank God I ended up on like buying a movie for $20 and not on eBay Motors.
Yeah.
And some 68 Mustang pulls up in
12
front of my
hours of
house.
40
Imagine.
pages.
I have to live in that day.
Fans only.
I was like, you know what I think I gotta do? Not take this anymore. I was like, this doesn't agree with me.
I
I
take
was like,
aspirin. I stopped taking everything else.
I'm
I want to take ADHD medicine. Just because I'm annoying as fuck with it.
You know what?
Stop it.
I
yeah.
already sent me that link to the product. That's like it's a known product that they call like the Wolverine because it's supposed to help you heal. But you know what? I never took it because I just kind of got better with therapy. But I still plan on it because I'm old. So I think
Dr.
of it
Mike
like
need to hook up.
what?
This,
Just put PT right in his fucking office. You get a surgery from Mike and over with Pete. Fucking.
Well, this is the thing. I have no objection doing that, and I would probably pitch it to this new organization because I got to be honest with you. One of the reasons why I like working with you I've been doing PT since fucking 1999.
Yeah, you were pretty
It's-
miserable.
it's-
when we
it's
started
break.
hanging out. Pete was a miserable fuck. He didn't even talk when we started hanging out.
No.
Well, he didn't talk to me.
I
wasn't
always
allowed
talk.
to hang
I know
out
what
in your
you
guys'
mean.
club.
No, I
I'd
just-
come over and be like, Army or whatever, Marine. Like,
How,
like,
how dare you?
I'm all undercover.
No, you were. I didn't. Did we treat him bad? Did I treat him bad? Oh, so I didn't.
No.
Come on, fuckface.
I'm the- I'm
now
the
I'm treating you bad.
I'm the friendly one.
We're both friendly. We have that following.
I think Corey was the one that was like, "Hey, big guy, you want to sit with us? Hey,
Well, I'm more-
you look
I'm more-
lonely."
Yeah. Come on, little fella. Come on, we won't hurt you. I'm a friendly bear. Come on over. Come over. Come sit down. You
Well,
want
it's
a
like
cigar?
chain smoke. You guys would be there, and I'd see you 6 times. Like,
Yeah.
fuck it, I gotta make friends with these guys.
Then I was like, you told that funny story. Like you say, like you were like, I was like, wait for these fucking guys to like, you know. It's fate, man. It's fucking kismet.
No,
But now we're like, we are a thing. We're a fucking institution.
I consider you guys free therapy. Not this one. This is a little stressful.
Yeah.
Our normal cigars, yeah.
Yeah.
Sitting around Saturday nights,
yeah, it's a,
which is probably gonna get ruined from this. We probably still have to do it somewhere else because everybody will always be on. I saw it yesterday. Like those 2 girls would have never talked to me before,
Yeah.
and now we're doing like the.
Oh, we've.
Nor should I be talking to them like a 25-year-old? I mean, like, and she had nothing. I mean, no, we just had to conduct business like yesterday. It was like a fucking. It was a TV show yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little. He was. Well, listen, it's not stupid. You're like pitching this. You know.
Yeah.
If he does
come out.
amazing, you know, like this kind of like on a cutting edge of medicine.
He really
you know,
does.
and it is smart to like when you go to a place like that. You don't want to see. You want to see attractive people because
Ugh.
you're selling like promotion of optimal health. So you don't want to see somebody who looks like they're chain smoking.
Such an impressive.
You know, camels and fucking.
It's
know.
almost like you started out in a place like this
Yeah.
and turned it into this because it's a little storefront, and then you get in there and you're like, wow, like just
yeah, you get past the desk and it's like it's
high
like
tech and.
it's like Starship Enterprise shit.
yeah.
Well,
He's he's a smart guy. He's into what he's into.
yeah.
Start cutting fucking in that deep. That's doctor shit. That's not fucking.
Yeah, it's not something I
And
want.
I know a lot of impressive people. Like, in fact, in the middle of the fucking meeting, he FaceTimes one of our good friends that I know gets this done more. He gets it done monthly, I think.
Well, I mean, it's testosterone, so there's an advantage to it. Well, like, we know a couple from the beach club, and their line of work is like medical grade supplements. They sell to doctors, like Dr. Mike, and they like brand them. And I saw them at New Year's, and I was kidding with them. I'm like, listen, can you just get me steroids at this point? I'm in my 50s. I'm done having kids. I'm like, I'm tired of my little, you know,
Trying to
my little
bulk up.
Panza. I'm like, I just want to be just like a jack 50-year-old. Like, you know, I'm done.
Get your test level checked.
My test it's always like medium normal from what I remember. I gotta go pull it up.
Thing in this world.
Every time I go to my doctor, though, they're dying to get me in for those colonoscopy. I'm supposed to go soon, but what happened is my wife had something we had to deal with, so my colonoscopy prescription got pushed to the side because everyone's like, oh, it's not so bad. I'm like, yeah, but like,
Why?
I gotta take. I get it. Like
So many people I know went. They found something.
Well,
Like, so many people.
You know, on the male side of my family, type 2 runs strong. Like heart disease, not so much. I mean, and now I wonder because where I lived on Staten Island, so my mom had cancer. My dad survived. My dad is a cancer survivor. One of my sisters, treated well. Thank you, MSK. My wife grew up on Staten Island. She's a survivor of something. That probably concerns me a little bit, but there's not much you can do. It's where I grew up on Staten Island. So I laugh about this. When we were kids, you used to see like the commercial with like the old guy or Sally Struthers, like, poor little Maria has to trudge through garbage and sewage. I'm like,
Yeah, I kind of do remember that.
That's fucking Staten Island back in the 70s, 80s.
I was gonna say,
We didn't have
it was still like
sewers
a
yet.
sewer dump.
You had septic tanks, and right across the street, it was called, I lived by the street called Arthur Kill. The dump was still active. So
Yeah.
on a summer
Yeah.
day, if you had one family on your block that wasn't maintaining their septic tank, guess what was flowing down the street with no storm sewers? Basically liquid shit from their fucking lawn, plus you smell like garbage. So I'm like, basically Staten Island was a third world country, and it should have been Sally Struthers filming us
Come on,
and being like, look at these poor kids. Look, he's got to ride his big wheel through sewage.
The Staten Island summertime. I went to school back so I was on Staten Island too.
That was like in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot about
It
that.
wasn't the summers when you were up there. It was right as winter broke to spring. And
Frosted.
and that frost on the dump that had trapped all that methane and shit.
Yeah.
One day a year, when that finally melted enough, and that fucking cloud
But you
of
know,
death rocked out, you'd step out of the dorms and be like, oh shit.
but you know what?
Oh
though?
my
Part of
God.
Staten Island's problem too is it gets all the shit from that part of Jersey where all the industry up there too. It's just it's just a shit. It's a shame because Staten Island actually
It's
it was.
gorgeous.
It's gotten very nice now.
It is,
I drove across Staten Island, I got lost, and drove across up into the hills. Beautiful.
Oh no! If you go like
What
this
is that?
Toad Hill and
I didn't
Emerson
know
Hill,
that. Oh,
beautiful
gorgeous.
areas.
I'm
But
like,
even
where
where I
am
grew
I?
up was fun. It was very suburban. There, like everybody was like cop, fireman, regular
If you
guy.
picked up any neighborhood in Staten Island for the most part,
It was
and
all middle
and
class.
dropped it
Nice.
anywhere in here,
Yeah.
you would know the difference. It's
Well, no,
a
way
suburban.
around
You would notice the difference where I live now, Lincroft, just because of the property. Like
Right.
Staten Island, you had like
Smaller
50,
yards.
50 by 100 if you were lucky.
But up on that hill or wherever
Oh
I
yeah,
was, it was nice up there.
There's Toad Hill and
Like
Emerson
Ramsey.
Hill. Yeah, better.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
like
thought
you're
that,
talking.
yeah.
Like I actually, when I worked for,
Wagner,
when I worked on
so
Staten Island, I
That's
did,
where that is?
yeah, Wagner and some of those nice older neighborhoods. Yeah, and Toad Hill is the spot. And up there's another hill. It's like right in the middle, kind of island.
It's pretty good, Wagner. It's only, what'd it take you, 45 minutes to get there?
Yeah.
That's
It actually
really good.
it worked out really well when I went. Right before I went to school, it was when my father's heart he had the first trouble with
So
it.
you're right around.
And I was fortunately only going to school 45 minutes away, and he had a quadruple bypass emergency. And so that first semester, I was really able to get back and forth. We weren't allowed to
Yeah.
have cars. I called up, explained the situation. They arranged it. Private school, no real issues.
Buddy Fitzgerald went to Wagner, played football there.
And it was that was a big help. Like
Where did your friend go?
Before you,
Well, because
89, so he's exactly 10 years older than me.
he
So-
would know. Okay, so he would know maybe my friend Jeff. My friend Jeff is just about a year younger than me. I've known him from PE school. He played
Yes.
ball for Wagner.
Let's ask him, 'cause he always calls me at weird times.
I forget what position he was, but
Oh, I can't, I got my phone going, can't play.
well, you can ask him. It's not a big deal. But my friend Jeff played ball for Wagner, and then he also I think he did a little like track and field like
I think they
through.
were I think '89 they were a D3 national champion.
Yeah, Jeff Norton is his name. Big Irish
Back to that.
fella. Irish and Italian Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it's like
It is a little different.
Staten Island really.
Let me check how long this is.
Certain
I'm not gonna
areas
kill him with video either.
It's overdeveloped now. Like I don't.
57. Let's. Yeah, but how long can we upload to YouTube?
You might have to throw a break in the middle and put part.
Just let it
Throw
run.
one.
Yeah. So
We
You guys good? You guys are good talking. Everybody's comfy.
yeah.
it's
So you know what the biggest change I saw in Staten Island? So I used to deliver like the local paper when I was a kid. It was my
Yeah,
point.
Advance.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to advertise for them, but yeah, it's the Advance. It was like I had a nice route in my neighborhood, and there was a couple of houses like there was like this nice old lady. She had like a little Cape style house, and she had a decent set of property right on Giffords Lane. And she used to be like, oh, can you take my pails? And because they were a little walk for her. So I get out of Marine Corps now. It's 1992, and I'm just I'm driving around the neighborhood and. She must have died or got old enough to sell the house, and maybe her family bought it. It was like fucking 6 townhouses now, just all in a row. I'm like, motherfucker. And like there were woods that we used to play in as kids, and then as teens, we used to go hang out and like have a boom box, and you'd get some degenerate to go to the deli and buy you a fucking pack of Meisterbrow 24 pack, and you get the pizza, and you go in there, and you with the other like not gonna get laid loser 16-year-olds that I hung out with. And we light a fire, listen to music, eat our pizza, drink our shit beer.
What music? What music?
Well, it was probably back then. It was heavy metal still.
I'm looking out here, blue. Oh yeah, it is. I'm glad I got
Come on.
my ADHD's in full effect.
That's all right. That's all right.
You guys are used to it, so.
I'm
Doesn't-
telling you.
I'm as
We're
bad
all
as-
little,
I'm
yeah.
I was bad as you are, but I'm bad.
Well,
Yeah, I'm thinking about it, Corey. I just so I don't have a heart attack.
you know what you
Yeah.
got to do when you do work. If you get like they say, like put a timer on your phone,
Yeah.
40 minutes,
Someone told me that.
step away, or I put on like.
Problem. This is my timer. I fucking
What
walk around in
what?
fucking circles.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. The problem is you can set the timers, you can do the shit.
Deadline's a deadline, dude. And
But
I got
yeah,
a lot
that's
of
what it
deadlines
is.
The
lately.
breakdown isn't the timers and stuff. It just becomes very easy to either get lost in something
Yeah.
or get paralyzed and not start something.
Man, paralyzed
Yeah.
has become a big thing in my world.
Like you.
I can't start a case
Uh,
because I have so much business going on
Yeah.
that when they come in, so it's so much easier for me. So that's, as we dole them out.
Yeah.
but it's important that I still work on cases
Mm.
and keep my fucking pencil sharp. I
Yeah,
I
yeah,
get on the
yes,
phone people, and,
yes.
you know. So when easy ones come in, I try to take them, and I'll put like 3 in my pocket for the week. Like I'll take those fucking easy ones.
Yeah.
And then come Friday, I'm like, fuck. Well, that's happened like 3 weeks in a row, and that's an ADHD thing. I'm paralyzed, right?
Yeah.
Well, I
love
find
TikTok. I learned
what I have to
everything
do
on
is
TikTok.
But if you're gonna go, it's still expensive on some insurance. Some insurance doesn't cover it, but
What
it's
is
going
it?
generic. Their patent runs out in a couple of months, which means about 6 months later the generics are to market on Vyvanse.
Vyvan?
Vyvanse, because right now it's
just is it a stimulant of some type?
it is, but it doesn't work the same way. So you take a Adderall, Ritalin, one of those. It's just a straight stimulant.
Mm.
This that has the components of those, but it doesn't. It gets processed out in your liver, and basically your body releases it, and it's good for like 10 to 14 hours, and it really does.
I tried to choose strategies. Like I want to, like, if I chew gum and I'll put like some kind of podcast that's background so I don't fuck with my phone, because
A
the
friend
part.
of mine has like you have, which
Yeah.
is actually worse ADHD,
Mhm.
because your body, where I expel everything by like fucking constantly. You're one of those people. You wouldn't know it right away.
Mhm.
I mean, yours is from like testing or what. Your feet are always the core. You jiggle a little, but
Yeah,
think you're
I was
medicated.
always like this in PT, so a boring class. I'd be like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, I got.
Yeah.
I can't. I like
Shit
this.
in the whole
Yeah.
fucking room.
You like your body has now absorbed a lot of that.
But see, we're told
So
that
now-
this is a fucking defect, and they do this to
Smart.
kids and boys.
Yeah.
It's not.
No,
It's a you
powerful thing if you know how to use
Yeah.
it.
So like, but that's the part of the job. Like I have a high person interaction. Let's say I can handle that easy all day for 2 patients. Part of the job that starts where I have to like focus. At the end of the night is like, so now especially because it's like I'll get reports every day, and I gotta like, oh, so what's going on, and I gotta be able to take this data and say this, or
That's what
like
you were doing in a meeting because you couldn't.
I had to
But-
because
but
I'm
why can't you outsource that to someone?
no, that stuff is what I'm supposed to be doing more. But there's also like in any modern medical profession, no matter what your title is, everything is documentation now. And it actually was easier when we used to do paper because when someone came in for a therapy visit, you'd have like one piece of paper that had, let's say, all the exercises and treatments listed, and you just put a date on top, check, a signature.
Right.
And then there would be another part that had, let's say, like the codes or whatever that they bill out on, and you could just put a check, and you could write like 2 phrases, and it would be acceptable, and then maybe every 10th visit you would do a little more elaborate of a thing to just show like, okay, see, they were here, now they're here, blah, blah, blah. Then now it's like, they expect you to like write fucking War and Peace like every time. But the flip side of it too is like, so I know, so it's like, it's tough, it's the boring part of the job. It's like, so I treated a patient, and like, I like the part where like, people come in, they're like a puzzle sometimes. Like, sometimes it's easy, like, if you had a surgery, it's easy. It's gonna be X, Y, and Z, I know how to do it. But sometimes you come in and you're like, oh, I have the neck, but then it does this and this. I'm like, well, it could be the X, it could be this, and I gotta like, problem solve you, and I feel obligated, like, you're here, you're asking for my help to feel better. I'm gonna teach you how to help yourself, but it's also like, all right, what can it be? Is it this problem, this? And and sometimes like, so that's interesting. It's like picking someone apart and trying to figure something out. But then later I gotta be like, hi. But you gotta do that, or you're not gonna get paid, right? But
I do voice to text now.
that's it's not quite there yet on the, like, we use like one of the bigger softwares for our profession, but
I start out by saying this document was taken, transcribed voice to text. I'm assuming it's stamped somewhere, something, you know what I mean? But I say that first, and then I usually don't even read it
you know what? If
because it's be better. That's better than the way I fucking type it.
I
It
talk
is.
too
You-
fast for my
you know-
phone sometimes.
You want to see? you want to test an ADHD?
Uh,
Give it an overnight surveillance.
Say I cough.
what do you want me to
Give it
do?
an overnight surveillance.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
couldn't sit still.
Corey, I forgot you did that. Man.
Wait, what did you surveil? I
So
didn't,
a buddy of mine
How
called
do
me
I not
last
know
night,
this?
and he's like, "Listen, and we're not gonna get into any specifics.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy was in. He thought his family was in the trouble, and ended up, thank God they weren't. They ended up. Long story short, it was the newspaper person. But a car kept showing up the right time, and other problems happened in his life that he kind of equated.
yeah.
So I called
Right,
Big Man
car,
up.
yeah.
I'm like, listen, for this much an hour, could you go sit up in front of my buddy's house? What are you doing tonight? Can you watch Netflix all night? You can't fall asleep. Yeah, no fucking problem. What'd you dream about up there? Now you tell your side. Now you're in the car. You're driving up.
No.
I know the weaponry you bought up there. You can talk about that if you want.
No,
Be
it was-
careful.
I didn't know if I was gonna have to get out and yell at someone.
Yeah.
Drag him up to the house, be like, "Know this fucking guy."
Tell my guy I'm sending a truck without wheels is coming to sit in front of
And
your
like-
house all night.
But I went and I was like, "Here's the thing. The only deal, can't fall asleep."
Yeah.
So 2 giant coffees,
Yep.
couple of emergency Red Bulls in the back.
How many hours are we talking about?
It was like 9:30 to about 8 in the morning.
Oh, we
Oh,
stayed late.
wow.
Remember, you stayed late because the guy never came
Oh.
for some reason. And then Corey leaves at 8:30, and the fucking guy comes at 9.
You
My
wanted
buddy
to
calls me,
have
the
a-
guy's on the guy camera, and my buddy told him to take off whenever. Corey went the extra mile, like, let's just put this to bed
Yeah.
in one night. By 8:30, Corey was like, executive decision, it's
Yeah.
bedtime. Like,
And I actually even did and I was like, well,
Yeah,
maybe
you
it's
did
some
it.
guy who's going to work. I
Yeah.
did a quick couple laps around like the streets in the neighborhood, see if I could see this car. Like it just parked in somebody's driveway.
Maybe
hey,
one of his neighbors has
Yeah,
a little
like-
affair going on, and
or
have
just
his
or just that's
car-
when he leaves for work in the
Yeah.
morning. Like just
Adrian took it the next night, and she's so Corey could piss in a bottle.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you got to shit, go. That's kind of
Yeah.
my surveillance rule. Don't shit. I've heard stories of guys get the fuck out of it. We'll lose it. Whatever. So
Can
she's
you imagine
like,
he gets like a camping
Yeah, I
chair,
mean, like,
he's
if you
just next to his car, like sheet of paper. Well, I'm on the job, all right. I gotta.
just sitting there in a Home
that's the
Depot bucket.
TV show, Corey. In a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
Home Depot
yeah,
bucket.
like a fucking a 5-gallon like
Yeah.
contracted jug with a toilet seat on it.
Yeah, no.
Or some fucking porta john.
But then knowing him, he'd probably have like a portable bidet as well next to him, and he's like, I need to be clean. Cleanliness is important to me. The neighbors like, but some kid like, mommy, there's a bear shitting on our yard.
Bear sighting him and
Some kind
out.
of weird football day. Like, I did none of that.
Corey's going undercover as a bear, 100%.
But I did not.
Cop shooting.
Like it's like Super Troopers. We're going into bear fornicating.
That might be fucking copyrighted now, but that's definitely gonna be one of our things. Corey, you're
I
doing
don't feel
it.
like I need to be in a bear costume.
Okay.
I don't feel like that's a necessity, guys.
Take off your shirt. I'm sure you're not back
Good
there.
amount of water.
So,
I'm wrapping this soon. I guess it's Saturday. That's the only reason.
Yeah,
don't
when I
smoke
ended up-
cigars.
what I ended up doing was just anything that drove by, make a model, time, just so, primarily for you, because you say like I was awake all night.
What you gave me is in our surveillance report, which is on the app, which you refuse to fucking use. But you're gonna this summer have to use it. It's so like you're in that car, you can take a picture and a note. Picture and a note.
Yeah.
Because what I do is at the client at the morning, because he's never evolved.
Yeah.
And the client like, hey, this is what, just like when we do them at the places.
I just
you know.
wanted to let them know that like
You
that
don't
would
have
be
to use the app because you're the bear, but the rest of the company has to use the fucking app.
So, but did the
Such
story
tiny
turn out okay
button-
for you? You were
such-
telling me
such
specific.
tiny buttons on the app.
How do I work? Finger no
You take a picture of your notes and send them to Andrea, and she fucking does it.
Was like this guy okay? Is bottom line at the end?
Yeah, a newspaper person. It was a newspaper person from the first phone call. I knew it was a newspaper person, but his family's important. And
Oh, so this
in
person
fact, I was going to pay for it, and he
Yeah.
ended up paying me. Normally, this is one of those things where he called, like, hey, dude,
Yeah.
my fucking. And he actually, the night you were there was just him.
Mhm.
He sent his family out. I didn't know that. I thought they were there. That's why I sent you.
Yeah, because he had said, he's like, if you need to use the bathroom, just call me. I'm like, I don't want to wake up his house at 3 in the morning. I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Good people. Let's leave it.
It was, yeah, but the challenge at that point is staying awake.
Yeah, surveillance overnight. Yeah, Pete's gonna learn. He's gonna be doing them.
But I ran.
I'm gonna send you those phone calls. I'm gonna throw you in the mix. We have like 40 process servers now, which I started just to do, but now I'm using them for like, hey, can someone go knock on this person's door and tell them to call their attorney? Can someone? It's all the college kids. It's the same fucking crowd.
The process serving was weird. The first one I did, I'm walking up to the house and I'm like, this guy gonna try and punch me in the face. I got
Probably
very,
not.
I got
You
very,
could. It depends.
He could. Some people
like,
are squirrely.
and very like, I handed him the thing. It was actually in his wife's name, but like I got up, saw him inside, took a picture because if I was just gonna leave it, then he was there and ignored the door. Like it was.
So that's the thing. Like you could see them in the door, and be like, I saw the person on whatever and left it. No, it's not good enough. No, you have to see them.
Mhm.
I've written them where you can get the ring. like the button,
Right.
the ring changed color. And like they answered the ring. I saw that it was answered. Okay, you're good. You're
Well,
set.
but if they're screening you on a ring though, who's gonna come to the door after
That's
that?
what it is. So then they're not going to come to the door, but I could say through the color change.
Yeah.
I make everybody use the camera.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I actually stuck the phone in my pocket. I just recorded it. And yeah, he was reasonably friendly. Like, what's this about? Listen, read it. Call your lawyer. Call your lawyer and your insurance company after this.
At the end of the day, we're like professional. We're also peers probably of that person, so we want to give them advice. But in reality, we're
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm the Uber driver.
Yeah.
I'm fucking Ubering. That's it.
Yeah.
I didn't read it. It's sealed. I think everybody reads them. I don't read them.
I
I
don't
don't
read
give a
them.
fuck. I'm
Shit.
bored. Yeah. There'll be
You
some
just
horrific
said
lawsuit.
Hand
Yeah.
this piece of paper to Jim Ramsey.
Yeah.
I'll knock on Jim Ramsey's door. Here's your piece of paper, sir. Like, you've been served.
They're an annoyance of PI work, but Corey's thinking of you. Now, that concept of you know, like I don't enjoy doing them either. I don't either. And the last one I sent you on was a really hard one. You were down in the hood.
The deep in Neptune, and like but that we had the address, knocked on the door, did the thing, left it.
He was at work, and had he not, he would have to go back. But he called me on the phone. He's like, "What's this about?" And I'm like, "Would you accept this product?" I accept it, and then he ended up calling the attorney. He's like, "You're not fucking. First of all, I don't have anything."
Yeah.
He's like, "But they're
Can't
suing.
get blood from
They're
the stone.
suing the hospital." He's like, "But my side of the story." And like that was actually he told me the whole story. Adrian befriended him.
Yeah, that's. But it's weird, like certain things. It's like you're walking up to that door. It's like, what the hell's behind this door?
Mhm.
And in my case, it was a guy sitting in his pajamas watching fucking TV. Like it was, but it's just you never know.
Dude, we gotta get one of those fireplaces for in here.
All of the electric.
It's freezing in here.
The
He's like, I put some chairs upstairs for you guys. I want to use my office. I don't want to use that one. I'll deal with the hole in the ceiling and shit. But yeah, but where else can you do this? Like, you know, when we're done with this, like for a couple minutes, I'm gonna stick that big motherfucker in the window and
Yeah.
blow this room out into the parking lot. That'll work, right?
Yeah.
No, we got.
What?
No, I was the story you started to tell before. With Jimmy went. He's like, I got this guy.
Oh yeah. So,
Yeah, let's close with that. That's a good one.
All right.
That's a good one. Tell your version.
All right,
I'll
so-
see if I
so
agree with it.
You
I
were
would-
there.
no, I wasn't. I don't think I was there. I think you guys told me afterwards. This one Saturday didn't work,
All right,
but
so-
it was like the only Saturday, or
Are
maybe it
you
was
sure you
before.
weren't there? I feel like you were there.
Or maybe
man.
I was
You
just-
might have been in your.
Yeah, it was like early on in that, and like.
I think you had to not leave the front.
Well, yeah,
Someone
someone
had
had-
to stay at the front.
So what? It was some drunken asshole.
And we were sitting there from Philly. 'Cause we
Oh.
have the accent.
No,
It was
surprise.
He was Philly.
All right.
We just hear over the radio, and we haven't gotten a call over the radio.
I'll
Yeah,
check
like,
the fucking radio.
in the entire time we did.
Yeah,
I think
Hey,
works.
we got a problem at the bar, and I'm like, oh,
Okay.
what now?
I need you up here, and I'm like, shh, fuck, that's us.
Why like he's like poker guy, like, oh shit, I'm still effective.
Yeah, we
he
got-
still recognizes my
Yeah,
authority.
I was only retired like 2 months at that point.
Yeah, yeah,
It was a
But
weird.
there is something in the training, and that if you need a situation diffused, an older cop or a flight attendant are your best two fucking options. They both have training to de-escalate, especially a fucking flight attendant.
Especially now. That was before all this shit.
And like, but they listen. You can't have a problem on a plane. Those people could like, my grandfather's funeral. We were bombed, and it's me and a bunch of other fucking guys who look like that, standing around like that. We had overserved ourselves. We were at a bar, and one of the guys got into it with some other guys, and now there's 20 of us in mourning and Irish
And
and
drunk.
pissed off.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I was like, so this is fucking happening. I got one cousin who works as a flight attendant. Says 3 words to us, says something to the other guy. Within 18 seconds, we're hanging out buying beers for each other. I'm like, what the fuck happened?
Huh.
Like
That guy,
he's
I was.
Svengali our asses. We're like, what just happened? Well, and
Yeah, I was
older,
like,
older
you're
cops.
better than this. You're better than this.
Oh.
This is, I mean, I was trying that whole.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
embarrassing
So
yourself.
now
This kid's
it's,
here.
you got the
yeah.
bar. He's first he's facing towards the front. Jimmy kind of turns around, so he's away from what was going on over here.
Yeah.
And I just walked up. I didn't know what was happening. I wasn't trying to make. I wasn't looking to get involved. I figured he had it. Speak to him, and things would be fine. I stood there.
Yeah, like that.
And meanwhile,
I'm not
Jimmy's
smoking.
like,
I'm
you're like,
not smoking.
this fucking guy, listen, he's backing
and
down.
So now this guy's kind of
Fucking-
facing out.
He's like, ah, all right, we
Yeah.
still got it.
He's getting he's getting big on him. And Jim's just talking to him,
Yeah.
and Jim's back's to me. So I'm like,
I
I was
enjoyed
like, am I
this.
gonna have to jump, like, knock him out of the way and fucking pancake this guy? I don't want to pancake this guy.
Yes,
I
you
might have to
do.
pancake this fucking guy.
Don't lie. Part of you wants to
I was
pancake.
like, is it gonna happen?
You make
It's gonna-
everything sexual.
No, I didn't say pancake. No, like I meant like there's a part.
Oh, you want to beat somebody?
Yeah, there's always.
Dude, we've had a few
Tell-
guys
tell-
show up and
tell
scare
me.
me with that shit, with the gloves and the fucking handcuffs. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
Not that
But,
kind of
but
shit.
just like people like us, like there is something. Like sometimes, like do you ever sometimes be like, I wish a motherfucker would. Sometimes. Sometimes I
People do it to me
feel
all
like.
the time for some reason, man. I had a fight the other night.
I'll tell you why, and this is why. When I got out of Marine Corps, my dear brother-in-law was NYPD. He's one of my best friends in the world, and he's like kept bringing applications, but all I could think about is like, I'm 5'7", and let's say in good shape, I would be about 180 pounds, like muscular but fit, like not look like a
CrossFit bro.
like a CrossFit girl, yes. All right, so now all I can think about now, what's ironic is that my brother-in-law is actually
You
a
just was
little.
at war, right? You were at
Yeah.
war, right?
Yeah.
All right. He's a
But-
veteran. We got
All right, but-
a war veteran back in New York.
But I don't want- but
the
you-
problem, you know Pete now, and I'm trying to paint it back then.
But do you want it? But do you? Is that what you want your fucking career to be like? Always going to situations that people like this motherfucker's only 5'7". I could take him, and then even if you could take him, like you don't want
Funny
to
you
be
thought that out
challenged.
that far, because that's always the cop. That guy goes in like fucking.
You have to
like,
be tougher.
You gotta be tough, guy.
No,
and
like,
then you
my
make the
skill
right
is
call.
verbal.
Those guys always suck.
My
you know?
skill is
Yeah.
verbal first, but like it's
Yeah.
like I'd rather be a sleeper where like I can talk to you and be like,
Yeah.
and then, you know. But I have a little reverse anorexia. I'll tell you a little quick funny story. Not truly, it's not a real diagnosis. I'm only fucking around here.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
So you know how like women always worry, I'm not skinny enough, but dudes like who like if you work out you feel like oh, I'm fucking puny, you know, like so that's why like you know that's like your excuse for not like losing weight.
Anorexia.
Yeah.
My ADHD kicks in and goes, if we ever have a fucking NJPI cartoon,
Yeah.
Pete's doing the voices. Go ahead, go back to where you were.
So I used to one of my jobs when I was in college. I used to work for this organization. It helped like people with developmental disabilities. It was recreational and booking, and I was one of the powerlifting coaches. And we'd go to like the Special Olympics for the state. It was fun, and it was a good group of kids we coached and everything like that. So like when I started, I was probably before I started. I used to competitively powerlift. I wasn't great at it, but it was something fun to do. So I was a little thinner. And then next year, like we went to the same state games, and like one of the other coaches said something like, "Oh yeah, that little guy from last year." And I was like, "That was me." And I'm like, "But motherfucker, I was like 180 pounds at 5'7". That's a great weight for 5'7".
I'm finding a cup and you gotta pour some of that in there for me. My
Sure,
throat
go
is on
ahead.
fucking fire.
But so after that, I'm like, well, you know, what the fuck? Do I got to be 250 pounds at 5'7"? So people, you know, but
Two and a quarter.
I approach it sometimes. It's not good, but I just didn't want like a job where like you're dealing with people in bad situations.
Yeah.
And if you New York, like he had hookups, like he got a pretty good precinct in Brooklyn. Not the best, not the worst. And he was able to do most of his career there, and you can take more. Don't worry about it.
I just need to fucking let my listen. Your buddy just did a LinkedIn. You see, I sent your thing on LinkedIn. The Filippo, whatever the fuck his name.
Yeah.
He's a speaker at something. I'm not going.
He
to
sent
it.
me a stupid video. He hasn't sent me that one yet. But I mean, I'll see. I should give him a call. I should get him to hang with us. But he sent me a video. It was just like some crazy cowboy guy saying some shit about. It was very funny because I think he reminded me of a guy we served with. So I texted him back. I'm like, this is just like so and so, you know. But anyway, that's just like so you develop like this like you know. Made me feel like that guy. Made me feel like I'm a normal sized guy. I don't mean a little guy, but I guess like some powerlifters.
Yeah,
like,
well,
I'm trying to picture you small. Your
Just
son's bigger
thinner.
than you now, though. Your
Oh, my son is.
He's bigger than you.
I gotta tell you one thing I heard from one of the other, not like unsolicited. My wife was telling me like you know we gotta when the kids on the team you gotta volunteer for some events, and she's like,
Boy, this thing's just rolling, man.
No, but I'm just restroom that we're at. And then
Yeah,
we're not
we'll shut it
recording the
down.
rest.
I
I'm
gotta
going. You might
go
want to
fucking-
take your mic off so you don't have like a naked gun.
I know where
situation.
it, you
Nielsen.
sick fuck.
So
Wait saying. You're gonna hear it on the camera.
I hope that would be
But
funny.
we won't hear it in here.
Where's there a horse back there? Oh,
What
yeah,
is
that's
he
just
going
Corey
on?
pissing.
What's happening in there?
But like I got like she was telling me like one of the kids that he knows from like grade school wrestles is like, oh, James, one of the strongest kids on the team, and like, I heard some other kid tell me like, yeah, your son's really strong.
If he makes it through that first match, right?
You
He's
got
not a
keys.
wrestler.
I think I might knock it off the hinges.
Oh, you need the key, Corey. Don't be knocking fucking anything off. Mike was just yelling at me in the parking lot for something. Wait, there's keys.
There was a bunch of keys in the front.
Yeah, I don't think these are it. It's there. Wait, is there? Yeah, this one. Either the football or this one. That's probably it. If not, look for it.
Okay, yeah, there's like 5 keys over here.
Yeah, well, you guys got to get cool keys to the door to this place today. Not that you're ever going to come here, but I'm going to say one day, meet us here, then you can if you want.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, anyway.
we're going to be doing things here. So yeah, he looked good, Pete. On the video you sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. So it's, what I'm saying to you is like you're saying he's the strongest player on the team. Like from what I learned,
Yeah.
just the fact that he's still on the team and still doing this far into the season.
He likes it.
He's good too, man. Like
He's gonna get there. I do this. He looks at it like it just makes his whole like. He's not expected to be a superstar. He's like he wants it. He recognizes like it's good. He enjoys the kids he's on the team with. They're all nice kids, and it's like the camaraderie. It's the working out. It's having a skill that's a good skill to have anyway. And also like, he's thinking ahead. Like you want to have a bunch of activities on a good collegiate resume. And like when I watched,
varsity, it'd be amazing.
did you didn't do any sports as a kid, did you?
Tried baseball, man, but I couldn't stop fucking with the smoking and the girls. And
But like when you see your sons do sport, like especially wrestling, I go like,
Bro.
shit, I really wish I had done this.
Oh no, I don't. It was a different scene for me back then, man. It wouldn't have changed anything. I would have just, it was a different scene in my high school. It wasn't like, unless I missed it.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a cool thing to be a varsity athlete where I went.
Oh
man. It
well,
was
I mean,
different. It was shitty.
football was big. Like my friend Greg, we were just talking about, he was on the football team,
Right.
And the football team was like, like the high school I'm in, my son's in now. Football is still king in like the Middletown area, because we went to like a quad tournament up in like by exit 137, and I was talking to one of the other dads I know, and our team was going against this team from like somewhere in Western Jersey, close to PA. And it looked like collegiate wrestlers compared to our boys. Like they just fucking wiped the. And he's like, yeah. Well, he's like, he's like, we're a pretty good team in our area, but wrestling is like a redhead stepchild sport in Middletown.
Yeah.
Football is king. He's like, but these guys like in this part, he's like, I forget. I don't remember the name of school. But he's like, they like wrestling is king there, and you can see like their coach. Like he said, like how many of the boys go to like this kind of school were based on wrestling, and they were all like animals, like in a good way.
You wrestled in high school. In my world now,
Yeah.
and I hear that in an interview. I've heard enough, basically.
Yeah, you.
What about your character and your ability to? I mean, I don't have to think about that anymore.
Mhm.
And that's enough. It doesn't matter if you win, lost, and you fucking wrestle.
Just stuck with it. Because how many kids drop off of any sport in a high
and
school?
This is the one that's scary. Like Jack last night, dude.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody was like, congratulations. Like,
Yeah.
I was so fucking proud of that kid.
How do you do?
Dude, he got his ass kicked because.
But still, he's a sophomore. It's so great that he got invited to this conference.
When there you go, right?
Yeah.
So I don't give a fuck what happens there. I'm so proud that I'm there. And Dylan gets those things all the time. Jack doesn't really get them all the time.
Yeah.
So we're all like fucking pumping, and then it's like, swear to God, now on Mat 3, Jack Ramsey, Monmouth Regional, and the returning number 5,
Killer
Kevin.
McGee,
I'm
number
like-
1 seed,
Right.
conference. Yeah.
Everyone's like,
Well,
"Woo!"
but they do-
Oh fuck!
So how they set that up, right? If you're like number 1 seed, my son was telling me because
that
he
was
went.
just this one scene.
Like if you're
Oh.
number 1 seed, they usually give you like your first match. They're like, here's the 10th seed.
Yeah.
It's like a gimme. It's like here's some meat, lion.
See?
So you
I
can
mean,
get through.
that's how you do it. You're one place just.
Yeah,
get
but I'm
16,
like, you know what?
And the
That's-
kid didn't pin him. He got the tack. Like he kept trying to pin him, and
Yeah.
Jack would like let him fucking rip his head off before he let him pin him. At least in
Yeah.
the first round.
Yeah.
And the kid, like, I want to say he pulled out like 18 moves. It got like crazy points. And
Yeah, that you win by points,
Yeah.
but it's the team. Well, it's not a team.
I was
that
proud
it's
of him, though,
conference.
man. It was fucking
Yeah, because
cool.
it's a tough sport, and like what I'm amazed by, like some of the they have some good female wrestlers that are little things too on my. On
Female
team.
wrestling is up and coming, man. It's very
Yeah.
cool, and
And they got enough.
It's Olympic sport now too.
Yeah.
It's
hey, why
gonna
not?
it's gonna transition to just all all girls.
They're
versus
starting.
guys. Yeah.
So I
Girls
was
never win.
I
feel
was
bad for them.
volunteering at the school today because we're still hosting the second part of that conference, and it was like, you know, I'm working like the cash register and like the cafeteria. They're all
Right.
buying the food.
Right.
It was fun. I like
I've
the.
done that. That's you got
Yeah,
it, right?
I don't mind. I don't.
Yeah.
It's like fun. It's
Do
easy.
you know them from like other school sports and stuff?
No, but I know
Or you're
the
so quiet. You want to talk?
the boys that help out are like.
I think we did a great job with this, by the way.
I don't know if that was
Well,
better.
because it's just being ourselves.
This is
bro.
us. Okay, so let's talk about.
Well, I mean,
like,
that's at the end of the day, when you're doing something like this, at a certain point, you forget they're there.
well, that's what happened. Yeah, we picked it. This, I think, is exactly us at the cigar place. A little more close, like when we shot this the right way, but I think that's our conversation that we're always excited about.
Yeah.
And then
It's-
some topics are usually more related to things that people will be more interested in, but we did,
We remember we had to work a little cleaner than we usually.
That's what no, we talked about that beforehand.
Yeah.
What are we not going to talk about? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to shut it off and
You can't work blue.
begin to break this down because it's Saturday and I'm going to get fucking. I
What
travel
time
a
is it
lot.
anyway?
5.
All right, yeah, it's cool.
5:15.
NJPI. That you guys want to see this? No, you've seen it. I'm not going to show
Jersey
you.
Shore PI. So.
That's the thing. Do I change the name of the company now?
No, leave the name of the company what it is. You know,
But JSPI is no different than NJPI. I
Sure.
can do JSPI.agency, Jersey Shore PI.agency. I mean, I'm known
You-
by
you-
like 8 attorneys. I'm not like
here's the thing.
renowned.
You'd almost be better off doing a second one.
Kelvin kind of stopped me when I asked him the other day and was like, dude, there's gonna be plenty of time for all that, but I don't want to lose this opportunity. But at the end of the day, what are we losing? I could do it next week, right? All right, Kelvin Parker, we love you.
Thanks, Kelvin. Good night, man.
Ciao, baby.
It's probably on.
In your office and just lock the door.
A minute.
Shit, I almost did it.